able to hear it. There you go. Stand in front of it. Let it project on your leg. Yeah. So I love Famofu though, but I like the Kurt's character. Okay. Let's see. Yes. Second question.
Second question was when you were playing Maru in Rockapon.
Yes.
I hadn't heard you voice any evil characters before that. What do you think of that?
Oh my gosh, then you must have missed half my career. I've done a lot of bad guys over the years, but I enjoyed that. And some of them are more evil than others, and some of them are more like outwardly evil. You know, some of them you don't realize that they're really bad guys, but they are. But then there's some that are like really bad. How many of you saw, oh my gosh, the name is right out of my head. The character's name was Jim. No, I played the character in this. He was a real bad guy. It was me and Patton, and we played these two characters. And my character's name was Jim. What? No, it was it was a pretty intense show. Anyway, that was a bad guy that just came to mind. But I mean, I've got to play assassins and all kinds of bad dudes. So, okay, yes.
Hi, I was just wondering, like, what got you interested in voice acting and how you started?
That's a great question. I can't believe I didn't even start that way. And I know a lot of you, that's probably a lot of your questions. I've been acting since I was very young. I started out doing little church plays and stuff, and then in school I'd get into the plays in school. And then, like, my mom knew that I loved acting, and so she even, like, I remember going to summer camps for drama, for theater. It was the coolest thing. You'd go for a week, every day, it was like day camp. But when you got there, you would learn to build sets, and you'd spend another day learning about makeup, you'd spend another day learning about lighting, and all during the week you'd be rehearsing for a play, because you were going to be playing a role in a play. And at the end of the week, you did this play, and you performed a play. And I remember loving it. Oh my gosh, this came back to my mind. It's called Sherwood Forest. Was the theater, was the camp. Gosh, I'll bet I had to have been, Lord, 12, 13, 12. And so ever since I was very young, I loved performing, singing and acting. And I never really voice acting never came into my mind. A lot of people write me like, when did you decide to be a voice actor? I never decided to be a voice actor. I just wanted to be an actor. I just wanted to act. And so about 10 or 12 years ago, I was working on a video production in Houston. And this guy, a good friend of mine, who was working on the production, said, hey, you've done a lot of acting, haven't you? And I'm like, and he said, you ought to go and audition for this place in town. They're called ADV Films, and they do this Japanese animation stuff, and they need actors to do them in English. And I was like, really? Wow, that sounds cool. You know, like Speed Racer and stuff? And he goes, yeah. I mean, I remember Speed Racers growing up. My friend and I used to imitate the Speed Racer voices. I'm serious. But who would, I mean, talk about coming full circle, right? So, here I was as a little kid, going, I built the box five, I know what it's capable of doing. And, and doing all these, I'm sorry, he's right, and I can't go in. Can't go in, Speed. And all that stuff. And doing that as a little kid, but never even thinking that it was anime and that one day I would be doing it. So I went and auditioned, and I got cast. ADV was very small at the time. Anime had not yet kind of expanded as it has now. And I got cast. I was cast as Vega in Street Fighter 2. My boy just geeked out. And so then another show came along, and I got cast again. And then another show, and I got cast again. It was crazy. I mean, the whole time I'm thinking, this is really a cute little thing. This is cute. It's just a dumb little subculture thing. Nobody really watches this stuff. And at the time, it was kind of an underground thing. I mean, it wasn't like in the mainstream on television and network and stuff like that. And so I was working at ADV, just doing my thing, and other things, and then voice acting. And then somebody told me about these conventions that fans had, and so I went to a convention. My first one was in Ohio, in Columbus, Ohio. And I went, I was like, I can't believe this. Look, these like there's somebody dressed as a character I played. This is crazy. Look, oh my gosh, that's Kugaji from saying, oh, that's Kugaji. I mean, I was excited. I couldn't believe it. Like, I voiced these characters and people dressed up. And then they would bring posters and stuff with characters that I played on. I'm like, oh my gosh, where'd you get this? And I would go to the dealer's room and buy everything, you know. So I was so excited to be a part of this. And then I met somebody at a convention who worked with Funimation. And 2 weeks later, they said, hey, they called me and they said, hey, would you like to come up to Dallas and play a role in this Dragon Ball Z movie? I'd been in anime long enough to know that Dragon Ball Z was a pretty big title. I'm like, yeah, I would love to. So went up and played Broly in the movie, and then another one, Broly, and another Broly, and then I started working with Funimation. So there was Dragon Ball Z, then there was Yu Yu Hakusho, Kitty Grade, Spiral, Full Metal Alchemist, and then like probably 40 other shows since then. Tsubasa. So then I met people that worked in LA at a convention. And they're like, hey dude, you should come out to LA sometime. This is Leesburg, man. I'm like, oh sure, yeah. So I went out there and I would do some little miscellaneous things. Like I did a character on Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, Rosen Maiden and Lucky Star. And then I got cast to play Ikaku in Bleach. The whole time I was doing video games in LA as well. I started getting opportunities to do video games out there. So that's how my career went. It's like started quite by accident. And I want to make sure and stand here in front of you and give God all of the credit. I'm serious. I promised him that I would always do this. I promised him that I would always make it clear that I give him all the credit for this gift in my life. Because I didn't seek it. You know what I mean? I didn't seek it out. I didn't sell everything and drive my car out to LA to be a star. I just literally, the door opened and I walked through it and like, wow, I never imagined this. So I am very grateful to him. Any of you that saw my acceptance speech when I got the Best Actor award, I remember telling myself that if I was fortunate enough to win that, I would make sure first words out of my mouth would be to give God the credit, and that's what I did. And so I'm very humbled and honored to do what I do. And it's not about money, it's just about the love of what I do. Because we don't get paid a lot of money. We don't, I promise you. I promise you. But what I glean from the relationship with you and your support and your love and encouragement for the work that we do is worth far more than any amount of dollars that I could ever be paid. Yes, sir. That's an awesome question. You know what's funny is that I feel like I started doing this about the time that anime, thanks for coming, about the time that
I'm coming back.
You better come back. Because I will chase you and I will catch you. I feel like I started in this in anime